Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Hawaii Board of Optometry meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, we'll play a short video to explain procedures for this meeting and to explain how members of the public can participate and interact with the board members.
Why are you saying this?
Ronnie, can you start the video? Thank you.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the raise hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras. Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting. At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Okay, internet access. To view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use a link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format, example name@email.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Phone access. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the Zoom phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to enter either your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When notified by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you're finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time. This information will be provided on the board's website. This time I will not take roll call. Members, when I call your name, please respond with present or here. And if you're joining us remotely, please indicate if there's anyone with you at your location. Dr. Wallace Kojima,
Present and by myself.
Dr. Clay Searle,
Present.
and Miss Gail Chang,
Present.
and I, Dr. Paul Chin, am also present. I will now call the meeting to order. The time is 9:10 a.m. We're moving on to agenda item 2, which is approval of the minutes of August 19th, 2024. Is there anyone that would like to provide public testimony on agenda item 2?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you. Are there any corrections or amendments to the minutes? None. Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of August 19th, 2024?
I so move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Motion, Ms. Gail Chang. Do I hear a second?
Dr. Phil will second that.
Thank you. Any objections? Seeing no objections, motion to approve the minutes of August 19th, 2024 is approved. Number 3, applications. Is there anyone that would like to provide public testimony on agenda item 3?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you. We have 6 certifications, and I'll read them off. For DPA certification, we have 2. OD 1045 Carly Kramer, OD 1046 Sharmel Kamebayashi, and we have 4 for TPA certification. OD 1045 Carly Kramer, OD 1029 Jeremy Wang, OD 1043 Jacqueline Pan, and then OD 1046 Sharmel Kamebayashi. Congratulations for their licensure. This time, do I have a motion to approve to ratify the applications?
Dr. Searle, yeah,
Thank you.
the ratified.
Second.
Second, Ms.
Chang.
Gail Chang. Any objections? No objections. So the motion to ratify the applications has been approved. Thank you. Agenda item number 4, request for CE program approval. Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on agenda item 4?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Kojima for the CE request.
Okay, I'll list off the index number and the course title. First one was 24-013, 2024 Pacific Rim Optometric Conference, requesting 8 hours TPA and approved for 8 hours. Next course, 24-014, review of cataract and IOL technology, requested 1 hour TPA and granted 1 hour approval. Index number next 24-015, Hydros Microstent Advancement, requesting 2 hours TPA and approved for 2 hours TPA. And the last one is index 24-016, Interventional Glaucoma Advancements, requesting 2 hours TPA and approved for 2 hours TPA.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kojima. So do we have a motion to approve the CE requests?
Gail Chang, I motion to approve the CE requests.
Thank you. Second,
Dr. Searle will second that motion to approve.
Dr. Searle, second. Thank you. Any objections to the approvals? Seeing none, a motion to approve the CEs passed. Thank you. Okay, number 5, new business. Is there anyone who would like to provide testimony on agenda item 5?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, so we have just a few items here. The first one is a request for trade name ratification. Localized Optometry of Hawaii by Dr. Yu Chen. She requested, or she sent in the request, and our EO, Mary Shahan, was good enough to check, and she confirmed that there are no similar names, and she sent an approval letter. And it looks good. Any discussion about the trade name? No. Nothing. Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to ratify the trade name. Do I hear a motion?
Dr. Kojima, approve the trade name, motion to approve it.
And a second?
Dr. Searle will second that motion to ratify.
Any objections? Seeing no objections, motion to ratify localized optometry passes. And getting on to new business, section B. Kentucky Board of Optometry has a proposal. Did everyone look this over? So they want to change from the NBEO, which is what we take, to the Canadian equivalent of the board exam is called OEBO. And there was some discussion from other boards and ARBO that it's not a national exam given by the United States, it's from another country. And they asked us if we would send a letter to the Kentucky board, and I had a discussion earlier, and Hawaii's laws are pretty strict that we can only take the NBEO. So there's no wiggle room there. We cannot take the OEBC. So what I think we should do, I don't know if we need a motion for this, to write a letter to the Kentucky board from our EO to their EO saying that at this time, Hawaii would not be able to license or do anything by reciprocity with Kentucky licensures since they do not have the NBEO in all parts. Any discussion?
Just a quick question. You say our laws are pretty straightforward on that. But it
Correct.
says, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we must pass all parts of the NBEO.
So we, in your packet, I provided you our rules about reciprocity. And if you look at 1693-26, it states that, for us to provide reciprocity with any state, along with other things, number 4 states, the applicant has passed the NBEO written and practical exam in its entirety. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Send them a copy of that, underlining that. But instead of putting a blanket out, we don't have any reciprocity with Kentucky, that it would be any Kentucky license optometrist that has not passed part 1 of NBEO.
It's a good point,
Will
Dr. Cook.
not, because others that have passed all parts, they're no different than everyone else. So I think we need to specify Kentucky license that only passed based on the Canada part.
Correct. Yes, I agree with you. And then, I guess by default, I would go for all states if they ever did that.
Yeah,
Okay. So in the letter, we'll specify who have not passed the NBEO. So. Okay, and
Yeah, so I don't think we need a motion to send a letter to Kentucky. It can be done by consensus that the board wants the EO to send a letter to Kentucky with that information.
thank you. Please do that.
I will draft a letter. Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Would
much.
you like to see my draft before I send it?
Sure. I can just see. No, that's just a suggestion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what I have here, Wally, is that we're gonna include what you said, that those who apply who have passed the NBEO will be okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, the next step in our on our agenda is item C, ARBO State Scope of Practice Overview. This one, I looked it over and I think it's just for informational purposes on the Arbo site for Hawaii. And everything looks correct as far as what we can do and cannot do. Any discussion there? It seems pretty cut and dry. I don't see any
I had a
correction.
question, I had a question on the lumps and bumps. It is vague, so, you know, if we have a chalazion, is that considered a lump and bump? And we do treat that sometimes with doxycycline and such. But it's such a vague category.
Yeah, so my take on that was, I guess they could be more specific. My take was surgical intervention, maybe,
Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, you're correct. It just says lump and bumps. Maybe, I don't know how we would address that.
I don't know if this makes any difference, so maybe it's a moot point.
It's just informational, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Should we send them a letter?
Nah,
Just say, can you
I was just kinda
clarify what
curious.
you mean by lump? How many lumps and bumps? Which lump?
as long as we don't get in trouble for treating it with, you know, medication like doxycycline.
Yeah,
And again, this isn't binding. This is just general information
Yeah.
that Arbo provides on their website for folks. If someone was like, oh, I thought in Hawaii we could whatever, they would, you know, they could reach out to us, but.
Okay.
As general information, do you feel it's good to, I don't need to correct anything for Arbo?
No, I wouldn't go through the trouble.
I mean, it could be specified more like surgical incision, but I'm pretty sure that's what they mean, because we have topical authority anyways. That would override it. Okay, so we leave that as is then. And then as far as the D, this is informational also, the American Optometric Association eyeglass rule compliance. I have gotten a few phone calls on that. It's a federal law, not a state law, so we really have no jurisdiction over that. So it's just, I mean, everybody, you should all know this. It's just informational. We have to have them sign something. At the end of the exam, we give us prescription. Any discussion on that? None? Okay, I didn't think so. So now we're moving on to agenda item number 6, executive officer report. Our EO is Carrie Shahan. Any?
Just briefly, hope to have some information for you at our next meeting regarding your CE audit with statistics. But for this meeting, I do have the 2025 schedule for you, subject to change, of course, if something comes up. But looks like next year we'll be meeting quarterly again, February 10, May 12, August 11, and November 10.
It's good.
Yep, that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Agenda item 7, what we've all been waiting for, the next board meeting is Monday, February 10th at 9 a.m. And gonna be in the regular room, correct?
Yeah, downstairs in Queen Liliuokalani.
And that looks good. And agenda item 8, adjournment. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 9:14 a.m. Thank you very much.
9:21.
9:21.
Got his reading glasses on.
I gotta go back to this one.
Okay.
Why